And the woman, she no dey look am like person wey hurt her. She dey fear, but no be him.
The boy who saw everything. Inside the palace court, everything was quiet. Not the nice quiet of bedtime. This quiet was scary, like when you know something bad is about to happen. The man in the middle was on his knees. His clothes were dirty. Around him sat the chiefs in their red caps, looking angry and sure. The king had not moved for 3 whole minutes. "My king," Chief Ezudo said, his voice loud and final, "we have seen enough. Let us pass judgment." Everyone agreed. The man on his knees dropped his head. It was over. Then, "My king, may I speak?" The voice came from the back, from where the servants stand, from where nobody looks. All heads turned. There stood a young boy in simple clothes, no beads, no title, no sign that he was important, just quiet eyes that had seen many things. The chiefs frowned. One laughed a mean laugh. "Who is this one?" Chief Okonkwo asked. "Since when do servants start to talk in council?" Another snapped. But the king did not speak. He only leaned forward, his eyes showing interest. And because the king stayed quiet, the boy could speak. The young man stepped forward. He bowed a little. His voice was calm and clear. "I mean no disrespect," he said, "but what you have said."
My king, wetin them talk, e no complete.
You dey mad? Who send you?
I no dey mad, I just dey talk wetin I see.
"It is not complete." The chiefs looked annoyed, then uncomfortable. "You speak boldly," Chief Ezudo said. "Be careful." The boy nodded. Then slowly he began to tell the truth. Not with shouting, not with anger, but with facts, clear facts, facts that could not be broken. As he spoke, the noise in the court died down. One by one, the chiefs stopped talking. Because what he was saying, it made sense. Too much sense. When he finished, no one moved, no one spoke. Then, quietly, the king, "Look at him." For the first time, the court truly looked at the young man they had ignored, not as a servant, but as someone else, someone they had completely misjudged. The king's eyes stayed on him. "You were there." "Yes, my king." "And you saw all this?" "Yes, my king." Another pause, heavy. Then the king turned to the man on his knees. "Stand." The man stood up slowly, shaking. "This judgment," the king said, "is not yet passed." Shock moved through the court. The chiefs, men who were never questioned, now sat in quiet discomfort. And in that moment, the boy they called Nothing became the only person who mattered. To understand this story well, let us go back. Let us rewind. Because this thing did not start in the palace court. It started where nobody was looking. It started with a small boy that everybody ignored. A boy who saw everything because nobody thought he was important enough to hide things from. Let me tell you how it all started. 3 months earlier, his name is Onyogaziri, but friends call him Onye OG. People just called him that boy, or Onye, or sometimes OG when a guard wanted to mock him. The OG, they say it meant Onye Gburugburu, the one who is everywhere and nowhere, the errand boy, the one who fetches water, the one who carries messages, the one who disappears before you even notice he entered the room. He had no father that people knew, no mother with power. Just one old woman in the village who sent him to the palace when he turned 15. She told him to find work so he would not die of hunger. That was 2 years ago. 2 years of running up and down palace halls, 2 years of bowing his head, 2 years of learning one very important thing. When you are nothing, people will say everything in front of you. And Onye OG? He knew how to listen. He knew how to listen very well. He knew that Chief Izudo visited the Queen Mother every Tuesday when the king was in council meeting. He knew that Chief Okonkwo drank palm wine with the palace guards until midnight on Fridays. gossiping about who would become the next king. He knew that the king's youngest wife sent love letters through a gateman to a merchant in the market. He knew that the palace accountant hid money in a clay pot behind the old shrine. He knew many things, but he did not talk, because in the palace to talk when you are nobody is to die. Until that Tuesday that changed everything. The rain fell that day as if heaven was angry. Onye was fetching water for the royal kitchen when he heard noise in the back courtyard. He was not supposed to go there. The back courtyard was for senior servants and chiefs only. But the noise, it sounded like an animal crying, like something breaking. He dropped the bucket. He crept closer. What did he see? Chief Izudo. The same Chief Izudo who wore a red cap like blood, who spoke in council like thunder. The chief was there in the rain, struggling with a woman. The woman's clothes were torn. Her face, Onye recognized her. It was Adeze, the daughter of a village headman who came to the palace to beg the king for help. "Keep quiet," Chief Izudo hissed, one hand on her mouth, the other tearing her clothes more. "If you shout, I will kill you and your father." Adeze struggled, tears and rain mixed on her face. Onye froze. What would he do? He was nobody. If he shouted, Chief Izudo would deny it, and who would believe an errand boy over a chief? If he ran to call a guard by the time they arrived, the chief would be done and might even kill the girl. So he did the only thing he could do. He threw a stone. Not a big stone, just a small stone from the ground. But he threw it with all the anger boiling inside him, all the frustration of 2 years of being invisible. The stone hit Chief Izudo on the head. Not hard enough to wound badly, but hard enough to make the chief turn, to make him lose his grip. Adeze used that chance. She bit the chief's hand, pushed him, and ran. She ran like the devil was chasing her. Her clothes almost fell. But she held them, ran past Onye without even seeing him, and disappeared into the rain. Chief Izudo stood there, breathing heavily, a little blood on his forehead. He looked around, but Onye had hidden behind a big clay pot. He had learned how to disappear. Then he adjusted his clothes, composed himself, and walked away as if nothing happened. Onye stayed in the rain long after. His body shook, not from cold, from what he almost saw. He thought that would be the end. He thought if he kept quiet, if he continued to be invisible, the matter would die. He did not know that Chief Izudo had seen him. Not clearly, the rain was too heavy. But the chief saw something, a shadow, a movement. And Chief Izudo, a man who had survived palace politics for 30 years, knew that somebody saw him. 2 weeks later, they arrested a man saying he attacked a woman. His name was Obiora. He was a blacksmith from a neighboring village. He came to the palace to deliver an iron gate for the new shrine. A simple man, a quiet man, a man with a wife and 3 children waiting for him at home. But Chief Izudo needed someone to blame. The accusation came like thunder in dry season. They said Obiora attacked a palace woman. They said they caught him in the act. They said the evidence was clear. The woman? Adeze. The same Adeze that Chief Izudo tried to force that rainy day. But Adeze could not talk. Because Chief Izudo had visited her father in the village, he promised him land and protection if his daughter remembered the story well. And Adeze's father, a poor man who had never seen much money in his life, agreed. He told his daughter that if she spoke the truth, Chief Izudo would kill all of them. So Adeze kept quiet. She nodded when they asked her. She pointed her finger at Obiora. And Obiora, a man who did not even understand what was happening, saw his world crumble. The trial happened fast, too fast, 3 days. No proper investigation, just chiefs talking, agreeing with each other, rushing to judgment. And through it all, Onye watched. He fetched water. He carried messages. He disappeared. But he saw that Obiora could not be the one. The timing did not match. The night they said the thing happened, Obiora was sleeping in the guardhouse because the rain was too heavy. Onye OG himself carried food to him that night. He saw that Adeze's eyes did not look at Obiora with anger. She looked afraid of something else. He saw that Chief Izodo was too eager, too quick to push for a death sentence. And he saw something else. He saw himself in Obiora. He saw what happens when a poor man faces power. When truth does not matter because authority has replaced it. For 2 nights, Onye OG did not sleep. He lay on his small mat in the corner of the servants' quarters, staring at the ceiling. His mind fought. If he talked, what would happen? They would not believe him. They might kill him. Or worse, they might disgrace him, beat him, throw him out, let his old mother in the village hear that her son died like a dog. But if he did not talk, Obiora would die. An innocent man would die. And Chief Izudo, the real devil, would continue to wear his red cap, would continue to be respected, would continue to destroy lives. The morning of the final judgment, Onye OG woke up different. He did not know what would happen. He had no plan. He just knew he could no longer be invisible, that the cost of silence had become too high. He wore his best clothes, the ones without too many patches. He washed his face. He walked to the court, and he waited. He waited for the moment when everything would almost end, when the chiefs would almost win, when truth would almost die. Because sometimes, to save something, you must let it reach the edge of destruction first. So when Chief Izudo stood up that final time, voice firm and final, "My king, the matter is clear. Let judgment be passed." Onye OG knew the time had come. He did not think again. He just stepped forward. "My king, may I speak?" And the rest, as they say, is history. After that day, many things changed in Akwunri. The king did not pass judgment on Obiora immediately. Instead, he ordered a proper investigation. They found out that Obiora was truly in the guardhouse that night. They found out that Adeze, when they took her aside and promised her real protection, broke down and told the truth about Chief Izudo. Chief Izudo? They stripped him of his title. They seized his land. The king did not kill him. Oba Akwunri believed that death was too easy for some sins. Instead, they banished him, made him walk out of the kingdom with nothing but his shame, let every village he passed know what he did. The other chiefs? They changed, little by little, because they saw that one invisible boy could bring down a mighty man. They started to be careful. They started to look at servants differently. They started to remember that the palace did not run only because of men who wore red caps, but because of people who fetched water, carried messages, and saw everything. And Onye OG, the king called him 3 days after the trial. A private meeting, just the 2 of them in the royal chamber. "You risked your life," the king said, "for a man you did not know. Why?" Onye OG looked the king in the eye. For 2 years he had never looked any chief in the eye, but today something had changed inside him. "My king," he said, "I am nobody, and if nobody can speak when evil is happening, then evil will win every time." The king studied him for a long time. Then he nodded. "From today," he said, "you are not nobody anymore. You are Onye OG, eyes of the palace. You will watch, you will listen. And when you see what is not right, you will speak directly to me." Onye OG bowed. But as he bowed, he smiled a little, because he remembered his old mother in the village. He remembered how she sent him to the palace with nothing. He remembered all the times they treated him like a nobody, and sometimes the people they ignore the most are the ones who see everything. Because in Akwunri and everywhere else in this world, it is the quiet ones who hear the loudest secrets. It is the invisible ones who see the clearest truth, and it is the people they think matter least who sometimes matter most. So if you are in a place today, and they treat you like you are nothing, like your voice does not matter, like your eyes do not see, remember Onye OG. Remember that power is not in crown or coral beads. Power is in what you know. Power is in what you see. And power is in your mouth, even if it is only one word you can speak. Because one word at the right time can change everything.